Derek Schultz covers the Pacers for our affiliate, WNDE Radio, afternoon host, and covering the Pacers here. Was this a good season, Derek, for the Pacers?
It wasn't a bad season. I don't know if it would classify as good. It was just kind of a lateral move. This was a team that 2 years ago surprised everybody by pushing the Heat the way that they did as a young team in the 2012 Eastern Conference semifinals with a 6-game series loss. Last year, they took a step further. They got to the conference finals, took the Heat to 7 games, and pushed them to the brink en route to another Miami championship. And this year, they didn't take any step forward or any step back at all. They were back in the conference finals. It was a 6-game instead of a 7-game series. I think if you ask most Pacers fans here what this season was, maybe a mild disappointment, but it wasn't a bad season, but it certainly wasn't a good one.
Any surprise that Frank Vogel, that the Pacers plan on having him back as coach?
No, Dan, because what are you going to do? You want to jump into a head coaching market with the Lakers and Knicks? I don't think this year is real conducive to trying to find a top-level head coach who's going to take this job. So Vogel certainly has his shortcomings, and I think his substitution patterns at times have been poor, and he's been way too stubborn about his rotations. And a lot of people didn't like the fact that he was Mr. Positivity all the time when really maybe this team needed a kick in the pants. But he is a guy that has proven himself to be a good coach, and the Pacers are on a great run here, one of the great runs that they've had in their NBA history. So I think he's worth at least bringing back for another year.
Which player's taking the most heat?
Roy Hibbert's taken a whole heck of a lot of heat, but nobody has been free from the, if you will. George Hill has also taken a lot of heat because a lot of people don't feel like he's a starting point guard on a championship-caliber team. Paul George has taken some heat from not being as much of a leader as he should probably be. He has taken some heat because of his antics, because of the fact that he turned the Eastern Conference Finals into a little bit of a clown show. So everybody has taken their share of criticism.
Lance Stephenson's future, is it in Indiana?
I think that's a decision that's actually going to be out of the Pacers' hands because somebody, Orlando, Phoenix, I think Cleveland has a bunch of cap space. Somebody's going to jump in and give him a contract that the Pacers are just not going to be willing to match. Whether that's $9 million, $10 million a year, whatever it is. This is a team that just doesn't have a lot of flexibility right now. They're heavily wrapped into 4 players. West, George, Hibbert is in that mix as well, and Hill. They're all into long-term contracts, and they can't break the bank for Lance Stephenson and expect to do much other tinkering with the roster. So I really don't think that that's even going to be a decision that's going to be in the Pacers' hands.
I wonder, Derek, if personality infusion is the key for this team, that you do find somebody who is a leader that won't let these guys quit or be inconsistent. It's a young team. Is that a possibility for this team? Considering Bird is running this team or built this team, the one thing they lack is that kind of personality of somebody who has a will to win and will not quit.
Dan, I think they thought they were getting that in David West. You know, this is a guy that's been a great locker room presence and has helped this young team along. He'll be 34 years old coming up here in a couple of months. And even they seem to tune him out. Even he couldn't reach to this team. So it's funny that you mentioned that because the locker room presence was supposed to be David West, and it just didn't seem to work out. That didn't calm the stormy waters that we saw this team go through after that terrific 33-7 start through the first 3 months of the season.
Good to visit with you, Derek. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dan.
That's Derek Schultz, WNDE in Indianapolis, our affiliate there. He covers the Pacers.